All right, welcome to the 9 p.m. show, which is today at 8 p.m. So I'm so happy if you are watching me live. Why don't you say hello to me before we get started with our day? And I have a very interesting topic for you. And the topic is around it's a new course which I'm launching. So if you are watching this, then it means you are serious about it. You have invested your time in this area. The course is around how to make your life count. Now that's a quite a difficult subject to be, if I put in a straightforward manner, most of us do not have a clear picture of what they want to do out of their life. And today that is what I'll cover. So I'll just give you an introduction today, and then it will be covering for this whole July month series. This is a new course which I'm launching. So you all part of this. So congratulations if you're watching it right now. So if I ask you right now, everybody has a story. Would you agree? All of us have a story. Whenever I meet people for the very first time, I always ask them about their story. How was their childhood? What was their experiences? What were their struggles? And everybody has a story. Trust me, everybody. Only thing is they're not aware that they have a great story. And a lot of people think that their story is interesting only and only and only if there's some big celebrity. Whereas the fact is, all of us have a story which is worth listening to. Okay. Now, why is it that? The reason being is and why are we so excited about stories? All of us, if you see, people naturally like stories. Question is why? Reason being, stories inspire us. You try to say a youngster or a teenager to read, he may or may not read. You tell him or her a story that can inspire him. Trust me, he will start reading. One of them, I'm the live example. I was a school dropout. I got inspired. I saw some inspirational stories. Some stories connected the dot, and I started reading. I became a studious person, a guy who was school dropout to a studious guy. The reason is story. Stories connect with us. You try to say anything to people. You try give 5 bullet points, and you give a story with a moral. You will see those 5 bullet points may or may not connect, but a story will. Stories are very important. Story animate our reasoning process. Whatever is the way we reason our thoughts, stories animate that. So stories will always animate your reasoning. It impacts your thinking pattern. It gives us the permission to act. Stories always gives us a permission to act. Stories can fire emotions. No matter what you say, logic cannot, but stories can fire our emotions. It gives us pictures. I mean, stories, if you see, the moment you see a story, you will see pictures in your mind. It gives you pictures that will who you become, who you want to become. Stories will always aspire you to grow in your life. So that is why stories are important. Now my question is, what is your story? If you take some 30 seconds of life and just take 30 seconds of time right now and think of it. And if you're watching it in the video later on, pause it. And in this pause, just think, what is your story? When I say story, what is the plot of your story? Is it an inspirational plot? Is it a plot of struggle? What moral can somebody derive out of your stories? You will say, Vijay, I don't have a story. Hold on. I'll tell you, you have a story. Okay, take 30-second pause and think on it. What is your story right now? What would be your story? And once you get to know, then I'll tell you what people are not aware and why they're not aware of the stories. I'll talk about it also, and we'll go further. So take some time and go through. Meanwhile, I'll talk to somebody. If you are live, talk about your stories. Let me see if you are watching me live. Why don't you say, what is your story? What was your childhood with? Was it an inspirational childhood? Was it a childhood of struggle? What was your story? If I ask you, why don't you respond? Some of you I would like to know. If you are watching me live, you can say hello to me, which city you are logged in from, and wherever you logged in from. I would like to talk to you before I go further. All right. So why don't you share, and we'll go further 30 seconds. What is your story? Is it a story of inspiration? Is it a story of struggle? Is it a story of creating difference in people's life? What is your story? I want to listen to your story. Your story is inspirational, by the way. So after this, if you're watching it in recording, so let me know later on what is your story. And I would love to read your story. All right. As I told, right, what stories can do. So stories can give us 6 to 7 things. It can inspire us, it can connect with us, it can animate our reasoning process, it gives us permission to act, and it fires our emotion. That's what I've covered till now, right? So stories are how we relate to others, learn and remember. Trust me, the best way to relate and learn is by stories. And as a trainer, coacher, and speak, and the way I've been training, coaching, and speaking people, I spend a good portion of my days sharing stories. And that is the most difficult part. I have to connect. And some stories I have to be vulnerable. I have to talk about myself, because people don't care about, write it down, people don't care about cold facts. All of us know facts. If people care about facts, then by now all of us would have been slim. All of us would have been having six-pack abs. All of us would have been healthy. But Fact doesn't matter. Cold fact doesn't matter. So Soumya is there live. Hi Soumya. It was an emotional struggle. Nice. I'm so happy to listen about your story. Suprabhat is there. Hi Suprabhat. So happy to see you live right now. All right, let's go ahead further. So people don't care about cold facts. That's why stories are important. They don't want to look at the pie chart or some Excel sheet data. They don't care about it. Trust me, graphs cannot inspire people to do something great in their life. You try to inspire people by graphs, forget it. They don't care about it. Third, people wanted excitement, that charm, and that story gives them that plot, that charm. I mean, that's something to get excited about. I mean, do you think people get excited by Excel sheet? They don't. I mean, they don't care about these graphs also. What they care about is that human component, that emotion component, that connect with people. All right? People like the drama. In a story, there's a drama. What is drama? I mean, you don't have to create any fake story. You just have to learn that there's a drama, there's a plot. You have some suspense, you have some struggle. And from struggle, you met somebody. Some mentor came in your life. He transformed your vision. You got something out. Drama. People like it. You connect with it. People will like it. That's why it's so important. And they care about pictures. They care. They want to laugh with you. They want to go into that emotion with you. So that is why it is so important to share your story. And I would again encourage you, please write down your story. And what kind of story it is? See, I'll tell. We all have a bit of humor in our stories. Would you agree? There are some humorous things. What is humor? If I ask you right now, what will be humor? Humor is not some jokes, okay? Things which you failed can be humor in itself, isn't it? So today, with my maturity, I may not do certain errors, but if I see some I'm embarrassed with, what the heck I did it? Was it me who did this error? And some I feel funny. I mean, how come a person of my caliber can do this or errors? They're humorous. I mean, that's humor. I mean, I always connect the best humor in the world is the humor in which you can show your failures. That's the best humor. If you are finding it difficult to find out your story, let me ask you, didn't you have some ups and downs? That is your story. If you had some ups and downs, that is part of story I'm talking about. So ups and downs, some errors, write it down. I'm just giving you some components. What will be the component of your story look like? How your life will matter. And today we are talking about that. And this is a series which I'm covering. So in that story, there should be some drama, something, and some failures, which will create some humor, some ups and downs, some wins and losses, isn't it? I have faced a number of ups and downs. I mean, ups of my life are only less. Hardly. How many success I have? Okay. First success, getting into an engineering college. Being a school dropout, getting into engineering college is itself a great achievement. Then second, down, no job, struggling to get a job for 2 years. Again up, getting into IIT. But again, before that up, there's again down. The down is 2002, get percentile 92.72. Then 96.97. And then 99.72. See, between this up, there are a lot of downs, a lot of valleys. So again, up, down, up, down. It's not about me. When I'm talking about my experience, I want your experience. What is your experience? What are your ups? What are your downs? Can you please write it down? Write down those ups and downs. Make a journal. In fact, I'm gifting you right now a book. The book title I have given on my name, but you do this. This is what I'll say. Let me share with your book. So this book I want you to create of your own. Okay. This is a book which I created. I thought I'll gift you today. And this book is the title I want you to give. This book title is this. Okay. Let me share with you the screen. So let me share. All right. So let me share the screen. This is the book. So let me gift you this book. A Life Worth Living. Imagine this is the book. Now remove this photograph, put your photograph, remove the author name, write you are the author of a book. Okay. You are that author for which your life matters. Think upon it. A Life Worth Living. That is the book I want to gift you today. And this book is yours. It is not mine book. Okay. You don't go by my book. It is your book. Put your photograph, put your name, and put this title, your title, A Life Worth Living. And that book is nothing. Just take out a new hard-binded notebook. I'll tell you how we can complete this book by the time this month gets over. Are you ready to write the book by July end? How many of you are ready to write your book by July 31st, 2021? If you are one, say I am ready. Say I'm the person who write my book. And I'll make you write. I'll go chapter wise. We will stay 20 days together. Today is 5th of July. And by the time we complete 31st of July, we are done with this book. Who is with me? I mean, if you're with me, start writing it out. So we'll go step by step, module wise module. I'll give you each. There's some small chunks of the pieces so that you can start using them and grow your life. Okay, so let's start writing out. So in this, what are the story components we have written by now? Humors, which can be part of failures, which can be part of success, anything. Then ups and downs. And in that ups and downs, wins and losses, write down all your ups and all your downs. And then I'll tell you how we'll customize those story. How will we make a message out of those episodes is the book. And that's what a book I want. All of us should have that book of our own. Okay. A Life Worth Living. If you want to change the title, you can, but I'm gifting you this title with a blank notebook. You start writing one day at a time, a chapter by chapter about your life. So ups and downs. Some comedy, some tragedy, and all of us have some history in us, isn't it? Some comedies, some tragedies. I'm sure you might have faced some losses in your life, and something or other, everybody has faced some problems. So, some tragedies, some struggles, some losses, and some wins. Overall, each one of us have a larger story to share. So, I hope I have given you some background of what your story should look like. Once you're ready with this, deep down, what I understand is human being deep down only want one thing. They want their life to matter. If you don't believe it, let me tell you an episode in my life of 1997 where I was in an engineering college. I admitted myself in UC Burla in Orissa, a great college, among top three college of Orissa in during our time frame. Okay, and when I got into that college, somewhere I was not getting a meaning to why am I reading in this college. In fact, you will be surprised that what I used to do was in that first semester itself, I skipped my classes. I used to go to Sambalpur, and from Burla to Sambalpur, there is a just a, you will take a bus and go there. And I was sitting that there's a in bus stand. There used to be a big banyan tree. I used to sit. I mean, it looks like a theoretical story, but it's my personal story, which is truth. So I used to sit in that, and I used to skip my classes. I used to get a meaning. Why am I in this college? Because the time when I was going in my engineering college, the movies of our time was Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Pyar Ke To Darna Kya Hai. And in all those movies, the purpose of going to a college is romance and having fun. There was no other purpose other than this. And I was not able to relate that why should I read this electrical machines? Why should I read this circuit theory? And I was clueless. And I left that school. I dropped out. For 1 year, I dropped out. I did not got a meaning to it. I played guitar for almost 9 months. Yep, I remember. Once I dropped out of college, now what do? I have the entire year. I started playing guitar for almost a year because that was one of the dream. Because those movies used to have hero as a person who's playing guitar. I played guitar for 1 year. Didn't found. I mean, I started playing it good enough, and then I got a meaning in between that my life has to count. And I was that point in time. I remember I used to have suicidal thoughts also. That man, what is the purpose of living? Because on one side, society is forcing you should do something, and I'm not getting a meaning to my work. Lot of lot of chaos was going in my mind, and that's what I'm trying to tell you today. You will one day get that desire in your mind, which is say you man, your life has to matter. It has to count. It just cannot be an ordinary life. Something has to matter. And human beings do not get that satisfaction without knowing the fact that their life matters. And that is the most important part of your story, that what is your life all about. And it is not about you and me, it's about a life which matters. And here's the assignment I'll give you. First, have you looked at your life from that angle where your life matters? Think upon it. If today, let's say you die, just take practical example, you die today. Do you think your life, somebody will be impacted except your parents? Do you think somebody will impact? Somebody's life can become bad because you are no more there? Think in this direction. So first thing I'll ask you is write down this assignment. Have you looked at your life from that angle that your life matters? Your life is beyond your survival, beyond your family. Is there something which people will miss you? Then this person, because of this person, things are becoming better. If that matters, then I think our life is worth living. Second thing, have you thought about what your life story should be? If it is already not clear, then start thinking what should be your story looking like? What should be? I mean, if you ask me, I have a big story. The story which I have in my mind right now. I'm 43. At present, when I'm recording this, I'm 43. 20 years from now, you know what I think? Millions of people's life is better off because I am involved in their life. Through my life source like this, I'll be doing it. Something or other, I'll add value in people's life. Whatever is possible in my range. Yes, there's no harm in making money. I'll make a lot of money as well. I'm not against money. But some component of my life has to go in serving society, in adding value to people's life, in doing something different, making difference in people's life. That's a big, big dream I have. In my story, one of the component is this. What would be that component in your life? It doesn't matter as of now what you have done or what you have not done. Question is, what are you going to do in the next 10 years? It is in your hand. You can write it one chapter at a time. Do you believe you can live a life of significance is the question. And that is what really matters. Now, don't get worried about this word significance. A lot of people get scared, They get scared with this word significance. What is significance? I don't even understand. I don't even have success. So I found a very simple statement given by John Maxwell, one of my mentors. And I like this line very much. He said, to be significant, all you have to do is make a difference. To be significant, all you have to do is make a difference with others, wherever you are, with whatever you have, one day at a time. Amazing statement. You can write it down slowly. I'll write it down very slowly. To be significant, all you have to do is make a difference with others, wherever you are, with whatever you have, and one day at a time. That's all you need. to become significant and making a difference in people's life. You don't need anything beyond that. It's an amazing statement. So what will you write in this book? So the chapter which you have, the book which you're going to write, what will be those chapters looking like? Let us write down one chapter at a time. Chapter should have the act of kindness. How about this? Some act of kindness. Now, if I ask you, have we all done some act of kindness on a daily basis? Let us be intentional. Something which you have with out of good heart, you did some act of kindness. I think that's what our book's chapter should look like. Some act of kindness. Some act of empowerment. We empowered somebody. I mean, giving is easy, isn't it? Was giving is one part. How about empowering people so that they can figure out things on their own? Very, very important. Second, some visionary thoughts. Some thoughts beyond what you are doing right now. Visionary thoughts. Some heart-touching stories. Some stories in which you are part of somebody's life and you impacted their life for betterment. I think that's what our stories should look like. So that's what I want to create today. I just wanted to give you direction today to start writing on stories. So if you start doing it, you will see a big difference. So just this is what I wanted today to start sharing with you, that we have to start our chapter one day at a time. Start thinking in those direction, what your stories will look like. Once you start thinking in this direction, our life will become better. And I'll take you into more detail in this coming days. So I'm just starting with you to give a few reasons today. And after that, we'll cover more tomorrow. And stay tuned for this entire week, because I'm going to take one step at a time and I'll give small chunks so that you do not have any problem digesting the content. And now I would like to know your stories. So till now we have covered everything. Let me summarize what I have covered so that you can start working on this idea at a time. So I said, what is your story? Now, don't think that your story has to be something out of the world. Your story has to have some basic things which is required on a day-to-day basis. Your stories will have some ups and downs, some victories, some losses. All those are part of your stories. Then, how do you create a significant life? Not much. You don't have to do any miraculous thing out of it. Just start doing something, start adding value in people's life. That's what our stories should look like. The book title which I've given you is A Life Worth Living. In that chapters, you have to decide. I have given you the book, and we will make these chapters. What are the chapters will all about? Some act of kindness, and something we have mission to empower, some visionary thoughts, and some heart-touching episode. That's what your story should look like. And with this, we will customize the story at a time. And if you're excited about this, start writing your story. I'll meet you tomorrow at 9 p.m. and we'll take it further from there. And if you're meanwhile there, why don't you start saying? So I see Suprabhat has some amazing story. Let's talk to some of mine. Is a drastically failure in my childhood in studies and became somehow successful now. Congratulations, Suprabhat. I know you very well. You had been transformational journey for yourself. Purnendu is logging in from Orissa. Very nice, Purnendu. So happy to see you from Bhubaneswar, Orissa. Soumya has an emotional struggle. Perfect. Then we have this. So all right. So if you're watching me live right now, why don't we talk more before I go there? And please write those chapters, whichever I've given you right now. Please write those chapters. Otherwise, you will find tomorrow never dies. So let's write one chapter at a time. I'm going very slowly for all of you, and we will write one at a time. It was great talking to all of you. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.